Hey everyone, Dan here. Welcome back to the Dental Domination Podcast, where we dig into what's really changing in the world of dental marketing and how you can stay ahead of it. I know a lot of you are feeling like the ground keeps shifting under your feet with all this talk of AI and Google updates, and honestly, you're not wrong. Things are changing very, very fast. Today on the show, we're tackling something that every dentist has, but maybe not everyone is taking seriously enough, and that's your Google reviews. And I'm not just talking about star ratings or reputation management. We're talking about how those reviews are now shaping the way Google's own AI describes your practice to potential patients, and what that means for visibility, trust, and conversions in the age of AIO. Let's get into it. Have you ever wondered what your Google reviews are really doing for your practice, beyond attracting or deterring the occasional new patient? In the age of Google's AI overviews and other AI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini, those little gold stars are now playing a much bigger role than most dentists realize. Today on the show, we're talking about why your Google reviews might now matter even more than your website, and how Google's new AI-driven search and other AI platforms like ChatGPT are doubling down on something that's been emphasized for years. And that's EAT, or EEAT, standing for expertise, experience, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Let's start with this. When patients used to search for best dentist near me, or best dentist in Dallas, etc., they'd get a list of local practices, maybe a map pack, and a handful of ads. They would click, scroll through a few websites, and make their decision. But now, with AIO, or artificial intelligence optimization, and AI overviews, Google is using generative AI to summarize what it already knows about you before the user ever visits your website. That means the signals that Google pulls from, including your reviews, are what shape that AI-generated summary. And if your practice has inconsistent, outdated, or even sparse reviews, you're not just losing credibility with potential patients, you're losing visibility with Google's own AI and those other AI platforms. So let's break this down. First, EAT, or again, EEAT, has evolved. A few years ago, EAT was something that SEO folks whispered about. It was an internal guideline for Google's evaluators. But now it's one of those main factors shaping AI results. Google's AI isn't just analyzing your website content anymore. It is actively looking across the web for real-world signals that back up your practice's expertise and trust. And you know what one of the strongest real-world signals is? Patient reviews. They're raw, public, and crucially, they are data that Google and other AI search platforms can verify without relying on your own claims. Positive reviews that use natural descriptive language, things like Dr. Smith explained everything clearly, or the hygienist was so gentle and professional, actually reinforce EAT because they show experience and trustworthiness in a way that no amount of keyword stuffing or traditional SEO tactics ever could. Second, and this is important, reviews now feed the machine. With AIO, Google's large language models are actively trained on and referencing public data, including review content, to determine what's credible and what's not. So your reviews are part of what helps Google's AI decide how to describe you. Let me ask you this. Have you ever searched for your practice and seen that auto-generated summary in the knowledge panel? That's what we call it. Patients praise the friendly staff and painless cleanings. It's a summary. AIO's early form of EAT in action. Multiply that by AI overviews, and now those reviews aren't just influencing a sidebar, they are influencing the narrative that Google tells at the very top of search results. And this is the real kicker. The quantity and quality of your reviews directly correlate with how often and how favorably you appear in AI-driven search results. Now, third, let's talk about reputation gaps. A lot of dentists assume, well, we're a small local practice, we've got great patients who love us, we don't need hundreds of reviews. But in the new search landscape, it is not about being good enough. It is about being the most trusted signal Google can find. If your competitor across town has 300 recent reviews with consistent, detailed patient feedback, and you have 25 from 2 years ago, guess who Google's AI trusts more when generating that best local dentist summary? And guess whose site is going to get more visibility as a result? I want to be really clear. It's not just a popularity contest. It's an algorithmic trust equation. So what should dental practices like yours be doing right now? First, make review generation part of your patient experience system, not just an afterthought. Don't just hand out cards and hope for the best. Use automated review requests through your patient communication platform. You can use Weave, Practice by Numbers, Next Health, or Dentalscape's own Dental integration to make it effortless for patients to leave feedback while the experience is still fresh. Secondly, respond to every review, good and bad. This isn't just good manners, it is another trust signal. Google explicitly says that businesses that respond to reviews are seen as more engaged and more credible. Even a simple "thank you, we're so glad you had a great visit" can reinforce authenticity. And if you get a negative review, respond calmly, professionally, and publicly. This shows transparency, which again is one of the strongest EAT signals you can send. Third, and this is important, diversify your review presence. Google reviews matter most for visibility, without a doubt. But secondary platforms like Healthgrades, Yelp, and Facebook can still contribute to your overall online authority. These are platforms that are actively scraped by Google and other AI platforms when assessing your brand's footprint. And being consistently represented across platforms reinforces your practice's legitimacy. Fourth, and this is very key, embed review data on your website. When you integrate reviews directly into your site using schema markup, which is a fancy word for a little bit of code on the back end that instructs Google what to make of your content, you're giving those crawlers structured data confirming what it's already seeing externally. And this is a way to strengthen the EAT bridge between your site and the wider web, a critical move as AIO becomes the norm. And this is where Dentalscapes comes in. We are seeing firsthand that the practices we work with a robust review strategy, both in volume and engagement, are dramatically outperforming competitors in the new AI-driven search environment. And it is not just theory. Our analytics show a measurable lift in organic visibility and conversion rates when review velocity, which is the word we use for describing how often you're getting new reviews, increases. In other words, it is not enough to have good reviews. You need a steady stream of fresh ones. Google's algorithms, and now its AI, and other platforms like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, etc., place higher weight on recent feedback, interpreting it as ongoing proof of reliability. So if you've been focusing your marketing energy on ad campaigns, social posts, and website redesigns, that's great. That's fine. But if you're ignoring your Google review profile, you are leaving one of the most powerful EAT levers untouched. This is the truth. In the age of AIO, your digital reputation isn't just what patients see, what motivates their decision. It's also what Google believes about you and your practice. And that belief, which is built on consistent, authentic, positive reviews, determines how visible, how credible, and ultimately how bookable your practice becomes online. If you want to audit where you stand to see how your reviews, website, and EAT signals stack up in this new era, visit dentalscapes.com/AIO and request a free AI visibility audit. We'll show you exactly how your reputation data is being interpreted by Google and other platforms' AI and show how to strengthen it before your competitors do. Because in this new landscape, your story isn't what you say about your practice. It's what Google's AI says about you. And that story starts with your reviews.